Everybody, as promised, we're going live because we did a radio show yesterday and we ran out of time. So there were some topics that we wanted to cover. So I'm here with Ryan Fitzgerald again. And we're going to take off where we left off. Okay. Right? So yesterday we talked about, what was our first topic?
It was the kind of child fight that happened outside of Durfee High School at the plaza, where like McDonald's and CVS is.
So as everyone knows, there was like a large melee in the President Avenue parking lot of McDonald's, CVS, all that stuff. And we had talked about the particulars of it, and we kind of all came to the conclusion that we thought it was ridiculous, at least I thought it was ridiculous, that any business would have to close simply because children were getting out of school, right?
Yeah, every day it's a loss of revenue. And kids can't even go there because other kids are misbehaving, so it's a problem.
So we had Bruce with us, and Bruce just happened to be there that day in the McDonald's parking lot, so he saw the whole thing. Quarter pounder. So he saw the whole thing kind of go down, and I had heard from someone else that a company there was going to perhaps close for a couple of hours while the school let out.
Which is happening in another city near it too. I think outside of Brockton High School, because they're having so many problems. The same thing happened there.
Right. Which I think is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because if I want to go to CVS at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I want to go to CVS at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I shouldn't have to wait until all the children are dispersed, because remember, they're children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So children shouldn't be running society.
Exactly. Children shouldn't be running society. So we kind of came to the conclusion that more has to be done for that for sure. As soon as the bell lets out, you have 50. When I was a kid, we had 15 minutes on campus, and then you had to get home. So that was a interesting topic. We don't want businesses to close or just say, hey, you know what? Fall River's it's too much trouble. We need to pull out of here.
Yeah, well,
it might.
Yeah. I mean, it's happened in other cities where crime is or issues like that. So.
And of course, I take everything simplistically, and I think about everything in a simplistic manner. But you got to get the kids home.
You got to get the kids under control. Yeah, I mean, they can't be acting that way in a private parking lot. Yeah.
That's a gateway to, well, if we can ignore the police and ignore direction about leaving school, what else can we ignore? And it just leads to bigger and
Lord of the Flies.
More intense problems. Children should not be dictating when a business opens and closes. That's not there. They should be children.
Yeah.
That's it. And then we went on to, what did we go on to?
Rail trail was next, right?
The rail trail.
Yeah.
So we're both passionate about the rail trail, right? Bruce brought up something about a board. If that's what it takes.
Some type of oversight committee or something.
Some sort of oversight committee of the rail trail. I don't want people to think that the rail trail is just another park in the city of Fall River. It's so much more. It's an oasis in a very chaotic city.
It's a nature reserve.
A nature reserve. I was surprised when I found out about the rail trail about 6 months ago, which is another issue in and of itself.
Of the lack of marketing of it.
Right, yeah. Because when I posted that rail trail stuff, got dozens and dozens of comments from city residents saying I never even knew it was there. So that's a problem in and of itself.
And it can be so much more than it is right now.
Right.
But it has to get cleaned up, and it has to be, at least the perception, it has to be that it's safe.
Right, because right now the perception is
it's unsafe.
It's unsafe.
Yeah.
So we had talked about things like guided walking tours and things like that.
I see the future with and Bruce had brought stuff like water fire type events there. I mean, paddle boats, kayaking, rentals. I mean, it can be such a cool spot in the city.
100%. Yeah. And let's not forget that these are not like pipe dream things. These are things that are very doable.
Yeah, easy.
With resident involvement, right? If the local government doesn't think that we're interested in maintaining our parks or creating tourist attractions, they're not going to be motivated to do it, right? I hear it all the time. I follow the city events page and the tourism board, and when I look through their the engagement with the public, it's almost nil. 1 like, 2 likes, 3 likes. So there's a problem there. There's a big problem there.
Yeah.
Right?
With making people aware of what's happening in the city and what's good in
Right.
the city, and then, well, I mean, it's both ways too. It's not only the government trying to,
100%.
let the populace know what's going on, but the population has to get more involved in what's going on.
100%. So I was thinking that on my way here. I'm like, we can blame the city all we want, but
Easy route is to blame someone else.
just blame somebody else. But as residents, if we don't take the time to get involved, and I think we've done a good job at getting businesses involved. We have,
You have, yeah, for sure.
we have our little business network.
Lots of people.
Lots of people, lots of
things.
businesses, and not just city. We have businesses outside of the city that care very much what happens to Fall River. So you're right. The responsibility lays on the residents to engage and get involved in their community, because you can complain all you want about local government not doing anything, but if they don't feel there's a need or a reason to do it, they're not going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but yeah, there's less of a chance of them doing something.
Right,
for sure, yeah.
right. So there's kind of no oversight, and on top of not being any oversight, there's no interest. So,
And so, I mean, we talked about this. Bruce had his ideas. You have yours. I mean, mine is that okay, yes, it's illegal for people to be camping there,
right.
But if the government, local, state, whatever, can't remove these people, from the area,
Right.
then there's other things we can do, right? To still make it clean, make it safe,
Right.
Make it usable by citizens of the city. And so, let's do it, right? I mean, because otherwise we're just doing that thing where it's like, oh, you can blame parents, you can blame, you can blame, drug addiction, you can blame the government, you can blame the police, you can blame, individuals, but okay, now what, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Don't have the manpower. The people just throw trash everywhere. It can't be maintained. I hear those excuses all the time. But I've also, because some of these projects that we've done were kind of social experiments, right? If we clean up a block in the Flint, how long will it take for it to get destroyed? Well, it didn't get destroyed.
Yeah, it's still
It
going.
wasn't touched.
Yeah.
We
Still
spent
there.
our own money to buy mums and things like that for that particular block in the Flint. And 6 months later,
Still clean.
Still there.
Still plants are still there. Nothing's
Still
been
clean.
stolen. Nothing's been destroyed.
right. So it seems that whenever we do something, there's a comment under that saying, "Oh, it'll be gone tomorrow."
From some people, yeah.
Hasn't happened.
While we were putting up the recent banners, a couple of women had walked by and they were kind of saying,
Yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
it's not going to be later long," that kind of
Right.
comment,
So, but that's that apathy thing, right?
Yeah.
So just don't do it because it's going to get destroyed. Well, you know what? If someone takes a mum, shame on them. We'll go get another one.
Yeah, and I mean, and to me too, that is almost like a trick where it's sort of like, if I say this and I believe this, then I don't have to do it. I have no responsibility now, right?
100%.
It's sort of like, oh, well, nothing can be done, so now I'm free. I can just
100%.
continue to kind of just start off about problems, but
Yeah.
never be part of solutions.
Right. And I'll tell you something about the Flint that we put up those Christmas banners. You did the labor on that
No, you don't.
while I managed the situation.
But I get a kick out of it, as everyone thought I was naked.
But there has been a ton of interest from other localities, other cities, other states
Yeah.
in that project. It was such a small idea that had such big traction that it even surprised me, actually. But this is what boggles my mind: is we pay people a lot of money to come up with ideas to make our lives better, and it just doesn't seem to work. But it takes some silly little idea and an hour of our time to make such a huge impact. We're being talked about in
There was a
New
lot of
York.
positives. I mean, there was that one negative comment, but there were several people walking by that are all like, thumbs up, oh, that looks great, thank you guys.
Right,
while
and
we were
that
doing it.
and that excites people. I think anytime, listen, when I drive to work at 2 in the morning and I see the street cleaners going by, I don't know, it does something for me. I'm like, oh, someone's doing something, right?
Yeah.
So it's good. So if the city sees that, the city residents, because that's really all I care about. I'm not. We're not for or against any politician. We just present facts as we see them, right?
Yeah.
So.
So we will, I mean, with the rail trail, I know we're not to Flint though, but
Yeah.
that particular, we will need some government support at times, right? And it may be in terms of like, we'll supply the barrels down there, we'll reach out to
Right.
the people that run the camps there. We'll say, hey, we need your help keeping this area clean, but at some point, we may need government support with some things, right? And especially the areas that are completely like overrun with even they're just abandoned camps, like that one spot,
Right.
That's fairly about 99.9% sure it's state property because it abuts 195.
Right. So let me be clear in that this is not just some garbage on a nature reserve. This is some intense.
Yeah, I mean, there's a garbage bag and all, like trash is floating in the river. That river goes down to the Taunton River, which goes down to the ocean. I mean, this is, it's kind of a problem, ecologically too.
Right. So my position is nobody belongs living there at all. And again, we are huge advocates for the homeless. We have drives all the time. We work closely with Thrive and Angels Anonymous. We feel for them, but my position is 100% that nobody should be living at the rail trail, period. I know that's a bigger issue, and it's beyond our wheelhouse, but we have people for that.
Yeah, that's the government, right? And
Right.
So if they do that, great, right? Problem solved largely with the litter and stuff, but if they don't, I think we can go down, we can put barrels, we can speak with them, we can have them help us keep the area clean, we can make the area safer for people, right? We can do a lot of these things too. Ideally, they would just handle it, right? That would
That's
be
not
nice.
going to happen.
Possibly, but if it doesn't, let's not just say, oh, they didn't do it, so we don't have to do it.
So we kind of need the residents, the people behind us, to move forward on this because I have tried the state level. We have tried the local level, and sometimes those things, sometimes people are too busy or whatever, sometimes it's not a priority. But I firmly believe that the rail trail could be added to the tourist list, right? Of
It's a beautiful place,
it's
and you
beautiful.
can do so much with it.
Right. We're so much more than the Taunton River or the waterfront.
That's waterfront too. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, imagine paddle boats going on. A fountain in the middle, like
100%.
like Cottonwood Park. I mean,
100%.
it could be a revenue stream for the city, or they
Right.
could lease the private company to do this. I mean, and it could be a nice recreation area for families in the summer, in the spring, in the fall.
It's actually a gift to the city, but it's a gift
place.
that's kind of been taken away.
Most cities don't have that. Like in the middle of the city, like it's a nice nature trail.
Most cities don't have a lot of the stuff that we have.
Yeah, also true.
We just have a problem with maintenance, and again, that's a resident issue as well, right?
Yeah. Because I mean, we say the camps and that, and that's largely the little problem. There's other people just walking by throwing trash. I mean, I was on yesterday, and there's somebody just kind of sitting on the bench, with an open alcohol container just drinking away. Those are the things that make people not want to go there with their children, or feel kind of low concern.
Right.
So we do need police presence there too, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only common sense that a situation like that, an area like that, needs some sort of park police or something.
Yeah, just riding through.
Because it's a large area, it needs to be maintained. It needs to be managed. So, I don't know what direction we're going to go in with the rail trail, but it's not something that we're going to give up on. You're constantly on it because your office is situated close to
Abuts it,
yeah. So we're not going to let up on that. If we have to make a board, an unofficial board,
we're going to get it done. Whatever it takes.
we're going to get it done.
Yeah.
I mean, the trash can situation is the trash can suggestion is a good suggestion, right? We know that works because we've invested a lot of our money in you. You and I have invested a lot of our personal funds to put these 300-pound garbage.
Outside of one of my offices, I have one, and that thing's full every week. So that would be litter. That would probably be all on the ground every week.
We put one in the Flint. We put one near your office. We put one in front of Fall River Tattoo. We put one in front of Glass House Cafe. We put 3 on King Philip and South Main. So
we should get more businesses.
Right. So this is not just two fools talking about pine trees. This is about, we see something that needs to be done, and we'll actually, if it costs us money, it costs us money to get it done. So the rail trail is an ongoing thing.
I think come spring we really need to get that thing up and running to the potential that it has.
Right.
Yeah.
Which brings me to when you say spring, we're going into winter. Nobody belongs outside in the winter.
Yeah, some people.
But there are experts that handle that, right? So you got to handle that.
There's a lot of organizations,
Right. We need a clean slate, which means the state, the city, whoever owns or maintains or
and it is
controls that.
I mean, I mapped it out, right? There's some state property that there's people living on, there's some city property, and potentially some private property, depending where the lines points are exactly. But
So here's my thing. So state, city residents get together, fix that, right? But we need a clean slate. We need bulldozers. We need dumpsters.
Yeah. There's some areas that just need to be. Well, there's not even anyone living there. It's just still full of tents and trash and everything else on the side.
Because it would be impossible for, I don't care if we had 50 people, to clean that up ourselves. It's that bad.
It's pretty bad. Yeah.
Right. And also, I will say that I was on the trail with the mayor. The mayor did ask a few people who were living in tents how he could help them. He would get them immediate help. And these people kind of told him to bang off, right?
Not that word, but
yeah, it was a different word. But he did bend down and try to talk in the tent and say, listen, we're going to get you help. We're going to get someone down here right now. And they told him to bang off. So I understand that people want to be off the grid and stay there, but you can't. For your own health, for your own benefit.
Yeah, and so look, and these people have problems, and I recognize that.
Yep.
People like to help people with problems, right? Try to make their lives
Yep.
better. But I feel strongly about this: is you cannot put your problems on other people, though, and that's what's happening, right?
Right.
So they're having issues and they're living there, and I understand all whether substance use, mental health concerns, financial, all those concerns. But then they're leaving all their refuse all over the trail, and then there's needles. It's not and people are walking there with their kids, so their problems now becoming other people's problems, and that's not right either.
Right. So I see a pattern. So the children up at President Avenue, that big fight, the situation at the rail trail, it's a bunch of external forces taking away from or taking the rights away from people who have rights.
Yeah.
Right.
Also. Yeah.
So this is the second time we've discussed that. Now it's the rail trail, right? So people who help pay for that can't enjoy it because of this group.
And not just then, to make that thing too, but it's the. I mean, you can go through and you know where the camps are because that's where a lot of the refuse is.
Right. And I also heard on a quick note that it's not on the rail trail.
Oh, it is.
They're 8 to 10 feet off the rail trail.
I mean, not even. Yeah, a lot of it ends up on the rail trail.
Right.
As well.
So there's a lot of co-mingling there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
the camper may be slightly off the rail trail, but the entrance is the camper where a lot of trash is left and things like that.
Right. So you said an important thing. Your rights can't impede on my rights.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, your problems can't become my problem.
Because you're seeing a trend. You're seeing a pattern, right?
Especially if they're trying to help you and you're like, well, I don't want the help. Well, then fine, but don't now create problems for other people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Oh, if that's wrong with me, but that's kind of how I feel about it.
My position is we need to start with a clean slate. That stuff has to be bulldozed out of there. Heavy machinery, get down there and clean it all out. And let the experts who deal with mental health and drugs and all that stuff deal with what they have to deal with. That's your job.
And I'll go down and talk to them.
Yeah.
And I'll ask them. And we can provide the barrels, and I'll have these conversations. But if they're not willing to work with us, right, then that's another issue, right? Well, then can they stay there? Like that kind of thing comes up.
I just don't think that.
I know we differ a little bit on that.
I just don't think that there's any, especially in winter. I don't think that anyone belongs living in a park. Period. But winter's coming, and for your health and safety, you need to not be outdoors.
Yeah. It is dangerous.
It's common sense,
Yeah.
and I'm a very simple person. So
that and the Flint, and we're getting more interest in sort of decorating the Flint.
Right. So I just got off the phone with Linda Pereira, who wants to meet today. I got to say something about Linda Pereira. She is all gung ho to get these things done, and I think she's another one that sometimes feels like her hands are tied. In that, listen, bureaucracy is not a good thing. I'm sure a lot of people at City Hall have good intentions and want to get a lot of stuff done, but you got to go to this one. And this is, I hear it all the time. Well, you got to talk to this department. You got to talk to that department. So I was talking to Linda, and she said, we want to put these selfie stations up at certain parks, but you got to. Whenever I hear you gotta, I cringe. You gotta talk to the parks department. They've got to talk to the park association. Why? Show up with a selfie station and start taking pictures.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think we can ask for forgiveness. I'm going to arrest us for doing something.
And we do that a lot, right?
Yeah.
You do, and then you ask for apology. You offer apologies later. It's just mind blowing how you can want to do something good for the community, but you've got to go through 8 people who 4 of them don't really care, and 4 of them may be passionate, but they need the other 4 who really don't care, and now you're talking 30, 60, 90 days.
Yeah. Lots of committees and lots of moving
Hate
up the
it.
hierarchy
I
to
hate it.
figure out who can make decisions.
Let's have a meeting. For what?
Yeah, I'm not.
You want to have a meeting for putting a selfie station somewhere?
I have a company with, we have 45 employees. We never had a mandatory meeting, and we're fine. So, yeah,
Right?
it's not
just,
necessary.
when you say, let's have a meeting, it just, it implies you're just lazy.
I know that's just the way things are done. I think,
Yeah,
but
I don't
I
like
don't
it.
think
It
it's
needs to
necessary.
change.
Yeah.
So,
And the flip too, I think, who owns these properties, right? Can they be involved too, right? Because I think even some property owners like, oh, hey, go do that for me. Well, you can go do it yourself, right? I mean, once again, right? Let's have responsibility for ourselves and our
Right,
community,
right.
and it's wonderful that you do a lot of things, and I do some along with you too. But other people can step up and do things too,
Right,
And a lot of people do. I'm not.
I
Right.
think we're
But we're
seeing
seeing like
that.
90,000 people, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. I think we're seeing that. And I say it all the time, we're the 7th largest city in the state of Massachusetts, yet we have 0 flex, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Look down on completely.
Yeah. So I think some businesses want to get involved. Unfortunately, they're just in New York, and I mean,
No, local businesses too, but like you go down to Flint, somebody owns all those properties. You want me to give you the list? I'll go get the
well,
list of all the
no,
people
I
that-
mean, I know you could have that information
yeah,
available in 5 minutes.
and
Yeah.
make it nicer.
I was talking to
Always.
another city councilor, a past city councilor. She, her group just bought a couple of buildings in the Flint, and she was hot on it. She's like, "Let's do this. I want to get these abandoned." That's what we need, right? Even if I have to go there on my day off and do it for you, or have you do it for me, for them.
I would prefer that they do it themselves. Yeah.
Anyway, either
Right,
way,
because
let's
then that
just get
really,
it done.
I mean, and I'd love to talk that up too, right?
Yeah.
People that, I mean, I understand that's still a good thing, it gets done,
Yep.
right? You may provide the funds or something, but if it's your building, go do it. Right? It's not, it's an hour.
100%.
Yeah,
It took us an
it's
hour.
an hour.
We did. How long would you say that block is?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we hung about 50 feet worth.
50
of,
feet,
yeah.
right? Okay, so and it wasn't easy. We had to like run over to Ace Hardware.
Yeah,
and all this
but
stuff.
now we know kind of.
Right. Took us about an hour and a half to make a huge impact.
Make something look nice.
Right.
Yeah. Much better than it does because it's looking pretty rough down there.
Right.
It's all abandoned storefronts. Yeah.
Right. So I think that we need to. You're right. We need to get other businesses involved to take care of their business. Right. This isolationist stuff. I only take care of my businesses. It just drives me crazy because if the entire city, the entire neighborhood is healthy, happy, and profitable, then your business is happy, healthy,
Yeah.
profitable.
Yeah.
I've done it.
Yeah.
Right. So now I have a really small, happy neighborhood that doesn't steal anything from me or from my outside. It's never happened ever in the 2 years that I've been there. Never had anything stolen because they know that we're
Good people doing good things.
and we're focusing
And people appreciate
it's-
that.
yeah. So what's next?
I think that's things we were going to talk about, right?
We did talk about.
But the toy drive's still going on, right? We still got to collect a lot of toys,
Right.
right? If we're going to reach every kid.
Right, and
So
I
toys
don't want.
or cash,
Right.
whatever you want to give.
We did reach our $20,000 goal. We upped it to 30, and we're getting to 30. But I don't want people to think that we're not taking toys because we 100%
Yes.
absolutely
Yeah,
are.
if you'd rather
taking
take out a
toys.
toy because that feels good, and
Right.
please do. Yeah.
Right, and our network of businesses like Empire Hyundai, Empire Ford, Glass House, Mr. Chen. There's dozens.
Yeah, they're doing a
you
lot
can
of work.
drop toys off at any of these locations. We've got the entire city covered, so it's very convenient. Empire Hyundai, can't talk them up enough because they've given us a van with our logo and the Toy Drive logo on it.
And they come and pick up the toys.
They come and
bring
pick up
them
the
there, yeah,
toys.
to the
They've
store.
offered us trucks inside their showroom like they did last year for all the toys. Those are two people who are really invested in the community and the city. So if you're near an Empire Ford or Hyundai in the city, go in there and drop off a toy. My point being, it's not all just about money.
No,
you
and
can
all the
take
money
the
is
choice.
going to be spent, and it's going to be spent intelligently. You're a good shopper. I'm not going to be doing
I'm the
it.
best
because,
shopper.
Yeah, I'm terrible.
I'm the best shopper. I don't know, with that kind of money, it's kind of scary, but
Well, you get deals, and then
Yeah.
we're going to talk to businesses, try to get discounts, right?
Right.
We're also not paying taxes, so it's going to go further than if individuals
Right.
did it. But if they would rather do that, then do that.
Right.
Go pick out a present.
because when I say we're going to reach $30,000, $30,000 is going to go to toys. It's not going to go to buy you a cup of coffee
Nope.
or paper clips or anything,
Mhm.
right? You give us 30, we give 30.
Mhm.
Period.
100%.
Because that's kind of our flagship. Is that we don't want
We're
any money
not trying to make
ourselves.
money here.
Right.
We're
And
trying to help.
We're still spending our own money, but that if you want a decent way of life in a city, you have to make a little sacrifice sometimes. I think.
No, it's fine. I mean, if you can give, right? I mean, that's a nice way to live your life.
Right.
It'll bring you greater happiness.
Because you're
than buying a
giving
car.
to family and friends. I mean, your family and friends and all your relations live in the city, so you're kind of helping a wide swath of people. I don't know, I'm just crazy like that. So
I don't think it's crazy. It's the right way to live.
the ornaments, again, like the rail trail, I'm extremely passionate about those bags of hope ornaments. We just got refilled for the third time.
Wow.
Yeah, so $25 goes to buy a foster child a duffel bag for their own
Yes, with
security.
their name embroidered on it. Because they can change places a lot. And even if
Right.
they're in a foster care home long term, they still get like respite time. They're still moved around a lot. So it's nice to just, they can have their belongings. and
What are the
stuff
effects of
hold on to.
what are the effects of having a trash bag or a duffel bag for a child?
Well, I think it's a psychological thing. I mean, just think your stuff isn't a trash bag. I mean, just
Right.
that or like the
But
symbolic.
does a child understand that?
Yeah, I think there's there's definitely like thoughts and emotions that are
Right.
associated with those objects, right?
Right.
And so something that's yours, that's of quality, right? I mean, it's a small thing, right? But
Right.
it's a small thing that can
Right.
have a pretty solid emotional impact on a child.
Right.
And these are children that's, I would argue, probably suffer the most in society. Is children in
That are
foster
not
care.
often talked about, actually. I
Yeah.
really never had
If
foster
people are
children.
removed from their homes.
Right. So
Yeah.
I never thought about foster children in the big scheme of things. We think about homeless children and abused. We think about all that.
Mhm.
But for some reason, foster children doesn't make the radar for some reason.
Well, I mean, there are people that were in abusive environments, that
Yeah.
children that were in abusive environments that were removed, but that solution that we have as a society still isn't really great, And I'm not putting down foster. I mean, you're fostering children; it's a wonderful thing for sure.
Yeah.
But they're still removed from their parents, right? And
Which I
that's-
would think is the most traumatic thing a child
Oh,
can
yeah,
have,
extremely
right? Because
difficult.
whether the situation they're being removed from is good or bad,
Mm-hmm.
generally it's always bad. It's their situation.
It's still their home.
that
Yeah,
they
it's all they've known.
right?
Yeah, and then they're just thrust into a stranger's home.
Strange house, strange bed, strange pillow.
Yeah.
I don't even like going to hotels. Like it's
Yeah.
strange to me, right? I
It's
feel like I'm
not
out of
easy.
my.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I would assume.
Yeah, we need to talk a little bit more about
How-
the foster child population because I'm going to make that a big thing. I think in my repertoire. You like that word?
Yeah. Take it on more.
So yeah,
So,
the bags of
yeah.
hope ornaments. We need to get those.
Toy drive, bags of hope ornaments. Let's stop littering, right?
Stop
People,
littering.
in
Yeah.
different areas.
Yeah.
Let's get some nice Christmas decor up.
Yeah.
Right? Make the city look nice, right, for people.
Yeah, and again, it's not all about aesthetics. I notice
Well, it
that
feels good.
Right. Whenever we go somewhere, people are happy. Right? We hear the
Yeah, people are like
people are
super
beeping
positive.
horns and
Yeah, several times it happened just while we were hanging, those banners in that hour or so.
right. Because sometimes it feels like a depressed city. People that not this that there's a little depression going on sometimes.
I would say Florida as a whole, the population is more negative than positive.
Right.
Yes, 100%. And I grew up there. I spent most of my life there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
certainly true.
And I think that when we do something like this, like I don't know, there's like a
Moves
spark of
people
energy.
toward positivity.
Right. So we need to do that citywide.
That would be wonderful.
We need to
yeah.
change the city.
If you own a building, get it done.
Get it done.
Yeah. If you need help, we'll help. But if you can get it done, get it done.
100%. If you need information about getting your abandoned storefront windows done, listen, because it can have a lot of impacts, right? Someone could drive by and say, "Oh, this is a aesthetically pleasing neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm going to open a business there."
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
For tourists, because remember, again, we're more than just the Taunton River and the waterfront. We have 75%, we're more than just the waterfront and the Highlands. We have 75% more city that needs to be toured with iconic restaurants and beautiful architecture and beautiful parks. We need to spread the love a little bit, I think, right?
Yeah.
Can't all be about
One area, 2 areas? No.
we gotta.
I mean, it'll be nice when they finish that corridor.
100%.
Yeah.
And I'm all
as
for
of
it.
Now it's
I'm all for it.
it's a small part of the big city.
Right. But when it comes to things like tourism and people come and visit, or they're driving from Boston to Newport or something, and they, let's just say, get off and get a Dunkin' Donuts down Pleasant Street, and they see windows decorated. It changes your whole, yeah. We need to flex a little bit.
Yeah, it's not that hard. I mean, it's not. You know, ultimately these things, like, I think people look at it and they think it's overwhelming, but it's not.
It's
It's
not.
very doable.
It's not. And I go back to the windows we did on Pleasant Street. We did it in an hour and a half. Took an hour and a half of our day off, and $103.
Yeah, 50 feet of cracked window and plywood, and that is now covered and looking nice for people.
Right, so that children on buses can see it as they drive by and get happy, and the neighborhood can say, hey, someone cares about us finally, and all those things are important, and it cost $103. And we didn't have to talk to anyone. We didn't have to have a meeting. We didn't have to go in front of city council.
No, we'd have to write the president and hope he'll give us approval. We just did it.
We just did it, right? So, yeah, just do it.
Yeah, just get out there and make it happen. That'd be nice. Everyone starts getting out banners and
Yeah. So I'm glad, because I think the more, and again, I put this on the post about this, that people have said, you shouldn't use your business page for community things, because it could hurt your business.
I mean, I guess, yeah, it could, I guess. But
I don't think it does.
I don't think it does either.
I don't think it does, because when you engage, and I think this is what the city, tourism city has a problem doing. When you engage people, whether it be because you make cookies or for whatever reason, when you engage people, you start building a community, and they engage back, right? So whether I'm talking about foster children on my page, or this, or chocolate chip cookies, it doesn't matter. We're a community talking about things that are important to the community, right?
Yeah, and people are starving for community in this world today, right? We're so individualistic, so isolated that you're providing something. That's why I think it's grown so great, is people want to be part of something.
Right. So I think I can back it up with numbers, in that I still have a successful business.
Just do what you want.
It's all about doing what you want. But I want to clarify that, like, because people do, well, why are you talking about foster children on your cafe page? Talk about coffee and muffins. And I do, but I think as a community, there's a lot going on. And within my business, there's a lot going on. And I want a better community. You want a better community.
Yeah.
And that's how it's going to be, period. We were given a large platform.
Your business.
Well, no, we were given a large platform. I think the responsibility is on me to make sure that I use that responsibly. So if I can help foster children, if I can help homeless, and sell cookies, why not do it?
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you sell lots of cookies, so.
I'm selling lots of cookies.
Good. You help lots of kids, so.
Yeah. So we'll
they're
wrap
both
it up.
good things, yeah.
Okay. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
We're going to continue to do things like this too, because
Yeah, why not?
yeah.
Well, we'll see. If we get a lot of comments saying that was boring, please don't ever talk to us again. Maybe not, but, you know, so if you leave
won't
nice
get those
comments, maybe we'll do it.
But I think it's a perfect time of year to be a little more uplifting and positive and optimistic about our future. And I think we are the bus drivers to our life.
Yeah.
Might as well drive the bus.
Yeah,
Right.
and make it a nice ride along the
Yeah,
way.
and make it a nice ride. All right, say goodbye, Ryan.
Bye. Thanks.